22 coming back with another video. We're going to get into the Tom Moore offense. Finally, a little bit more detail here. Just kind of have some video in the background from back in the day. 2008, Indianapolis Colts going up against random people. It's really a cut up. I've seen this cut up floating around. I was able to get my hands on it again. It might be out there on the internet, but it's going to be out there now. You're going to see in the background a lot of the classic passes that come from this style of offense. So let's just talk about this style of offense in real life, and then we can kind of get into how it relates to Madden, okay, and how it could be a good offense for you if you're looking to try something new, or you just want to incorporate maybe some of the plays into your offense, okay? So in general, the offense starts with the classic 2x2 spread formation. Usually the tight end is in line, okay? So that would be in Madden gun doubles, right? Either gun doubles or gun doubles weak. And from there, you would see a variety of passes, but it all starts with the levels concepts. And even in the game, there's a play called levels, okay? And really, in their system, they called it dig. So I'll explain that to you a little bit. We will actually draw it up here on the board. That's the base concept. And the thing that is really unique about this offense is that they will basically run two concepts on each play. Now they do have some plays where what they call full field. For everybody, you say one word or one number or something, and everybody knows what to do. But usually this offense is best run from running half field concept, like I just talked about levels, and then on the backside, as they call it, there would be a different concept, which can be tagged or changed depending on what type of plays you're seeing, okay? So we're gonna kind of go through the offense and just really break it down to the bare bolts and whatever, and just understand the design of it. And then from there, I think one of the most powerful things is that you're going to be able to mix and match, change things up. And I'll explain to you what the power is of having a front side concept and a backside concept that you can pretty much change, okay? Now, some of the other things that relate to Madden and how this is good in Madden this year is really you can hot route to these patterns, okay? Now, I'm not a guy who likes to hot route a whole lot, but the thing is that these are not patterns that are deep crossing routes or double move routes that you have to go find that core pattern and then change it. You can actually take the basic commands that are in Madden, has been in Madden ever since the beginning, and will continue to be in Madden, so you can run this offense in the future of hot routing to something like a 5-yard in, all right, or a 5-yard out, right? A curl, a streak, right? Or if you want to hot route somebody to the sticks and run a 10-yard out, a 10-yard in. That type of stuff is really what the offense is predicated off of. And then there are some deep crossing type routes that are mixed in, but those are mixed in off of play action, okay? So we can really kind of take the offense and really create it ourselves. Now, when I play Madden, I don't like making a lot of audibles. I like to make 2 to 3 at the most. That's pretty much like my own little house rule. But if you have a quarterback that can make them faster, you can do that type of stuff. Now, how does this help you? Like I said, well, it gets you in and out of this offense. You can basically create it on the fly. So if you want to run a no huddle style, which I don't do, but I'll have a kind of workaround to kind of make it like a no huddle. I'll tell you about that in another video. But basically, I like to, I can get in and out of this offense. I can change up plays. And if I see my opponent giving me a very predictable look, which is what's happening a lot this year, people are coming out in what? All out blitz, right? Cover one man, press, cover 2 man, right? Easy looks. And if anybody understands how Peyton Manning thrived and why he thrived in this offense, was his ability to understand what the defense was in and get the offense into their best play, okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of Tom Moore's clinic that he had with the coaching staff that I was on in 2011. This is the year after he stepped away from Indianapolis after being a long-time coordinator all throughout Peyton Manning's career, and before that as well. He came and clinicked us and gave us, some real good information. It was about 2 days he spent with us. So this is audio that hasn't been heard, can't be heard anywhere else, that I have. And I was really motivated to kind of get back into this offense because I have this very unique audio that nobody can really kind of, it's really good to share. Let's just put it like that. All right. So I think it's good for you guys who want to be sim players, want to run an offense that's realistic. Now, this offense, from what I understand, is still being run by a couple of people. I'm not 100% sure. People obviously have hybrid offenses, but the one guy I think that is probably still really working with it, it's obviously Jim Caldwell. So whatever staff he's on, he has a lot of influence in this offense. And then I think his name is Jim Bob Cooter, was the offensive coordinator in Detroit with Jim Caldwell when he ran a lot of this, not a lot, but he mixed in some of this stuff with Matthew Stafford when Stafford was rolling in 2015 or 16. He had a pretty good year, I think. So, but the point is, there are people still in the NFL who kind of run this offense. It's not as common with the bubble offenses and the quick offenses, and this offense does have bubble plays in it too, but it's not predicated on it like some other offenses are. All right, so without further ado, what we're going to do here to kind of get things kicked off, I think this is the best way to go. All right, let's just kind of like talk about the formation, the main formation I talked about, the 2x2. We'll start with under center. Peyton Manning was well known to be under center just as much as in the gun, and that would be dice slot formation was where we would start. Now there are 3x1 formations, okay? And in the Madden world, I do have some information on how I'm going to try to recreate some of these splits of the wide receivers, okay? And we'll talk about that more. But let's just I'm going to give you the audio, just so you know, the audio is going to be real kind of scratchy. I was taking a lot of notes, so you're going to hear my pen, you're going to hear coughing, you're going to hear a lot of stuff going on. So it's not the best audio, but sometimes it's better to hear from the actual man himself instead of a guy who's trying to replicate. All right. So let me just pause this. I'm going to open up the whiteboard here soon and play the audio in the background, kind of draw up some of the routes that he's talking about, just to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. And then we're jumping to what I have so far done in my Madden offense and kind of show you what direction we're going in. All right.
And that's X. And that's H, and that's F in our system. So who are you? Well, I'm the wide receiver, but I'm Z because the tight end's to my side, and that's where I've been told to be. Okay, we always tell Y where to go. Okay, now this formation right here is like dice right. Okay. Right, H is in the slot, and I'm X because I'm opposite Y. Okay, so that's who I am. All right, now some of the passing game is predicated on where I am. Okay, if we go any passes in the 60s, then if you're the two receivers to the right side, that's going to tell you what you're going to run. If I'm the two receivers away from the ball side, then that tells me what I'm going to run, and we're going to send the back away. So we have a 3-man side to this and a 2-man here. And how do we get to it? Well, one of the schemes is we got 60 through 69 is a 2-man pattern. So we got 10 patterns. Okay, what do these guys do? We give them a letter. So we may go 60D. Okay, 60, that means the two guys to the right. Because it's even. And they're going to run the 60 pattern. The 3 guys to the left, they're going to run the D pattern. Okay, so what is that? Well, that's a hitch, that's a corner, That's an in, that's an under, and that's trail. That's 60 deep. All right, now what if we wanted to flip that? Go to 70 deep. 70s to the left, 60s to the right. Okay, so okay, so now we're going to run the pitch. We'll run the corner. This side here is going to run the deep. And I'll go through with you. Our backside patterns, we got 6 of them. Now, all 6 don't go with all 10 necessarily. You go through and you pick out of those 10 patterns, what do you like best? And what's your best backside combination? In other words,
excuse me, Tom, you had 10 frontside patterns and 6 backside patterns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In other words, a big pattern for us is 66 L. Okay, what's 66 L? Double L. All right. This one we get to Dallas a lot because I got a linebacker on him, something there, so that's a good one. Then back here, we got the corner with the look and the wide flare. Okay. Is this good against cover 2? Well, then this is where you get into that sheet. Okay. So I'm that sheet, and I'm your right wide receiver. Okay, so I'm Z, and they call it 66. I know it's coming to me. I'm the number 1 receiver. And I got an out. So that's my route. What's my split? Numbers. What's my depth? 12 yards. What's my release? Oh shit. Forced outside release. And we make the complete distinction between an outside release and a forced outside release. An outside release means you're releasing outside your original alignment. Head up outside your original alignment. That's an outside release. A forced outside release means that you are physically releasing outside of the body of the guy that's out there. What if he takes you out of bounds? Fall down. Fall down. Let him ride you out of bounds, but fall down. Don't go out of bounds and come back in because the quarterback might miss it and he might throw it to you and it's a penalty. So fall down so he'll never see you. Now we'd like to force an outside release, but we'd like for you not to give yourself up either. But if in your thing you got a forced outside release and you don't, and you go inside, you're going to carry this guy out loose first. And so this guy's got to learn in the whole schematic thing, anytime an adjacent inside receiver has an outside breaking route, you got to force your release outside. Sounds easy, right? In the heat of the battle, you got to stay on their ass. I'm telling you, you got to do it. So that's the reason for that sheet. Now, that's dice right. All right. But that guy out there, he's wide. That's dice right open, or dice right wide. Okay, put this guy outside him. All right, that's dot right wide. So my point is, these guys could be interchangeable. So they have to learn who they are and where they are. That's the reason for all this. Okay, now. Anybody want to take a quick picture?
Sure.
The protection one?
Yeah, why don't we do that real quick? You guys want to take about 10 minutes?
And we'll get into the protection. Okay.
Okay, I thought that was pretty interesting, right? And the way he uses his system. Now, later on, you're going to see people use the system. I'll show you some pictures here where the two-man side, right? And it could be on either side, but I'm just going to put it on the right-hand side. It could be whoever we decide, right? A lot of people will take plays that he talked about and give it a name, okay? So, for example, different people have different names for double outs, 10-yard out, 12-yard outs, right? I know in the Jim Caldwell system, they called it beta. So instead of saying a number, they would just say a letter. And I'm pretty sure they had to have some sort of way to decide which side it was on. That's the only thing I like about his system, right? He called it 66. And then if he wanted it over here, he would call it 67. So now you can have the same route on the other side with our X and our H, okay? Excuse the drawing, it's not the best drawing. I'm trying to use my finger. So, you know, I'm using it on a laptop. But anyway, so you can actually call 67, right, over here, and that'd be telling them to go, all right? Now, if you don't get tagged in their offense, for the most part, in a 2x2 or in a set, what your responsibility is if you don't get tagged. So let's go dice right. Okay. And whatever he wants to call, I forgot the first one was 60, if I'm not mistaken. And that was just basically what people would call smash, right? On the backside, if you don't hear anything, I'm pretty sure, and this is something that I'm learning as I go through, they would have what they call a seam route, what some people would say a middle read, so middle field open. Jeez, that's horrible there. I try to write real specific, it's bad. And then middle field closed. So middle field open, you get a post at 12 yards, or a bender, or you get a straight vertical seam route versus middle field closed, like cover 3. And then on the back, on the outside, you would get a go. So this is like the standard route if you don't hear anything. And let's just say we're in the gun. They called this guy an F, which is confusing because most people would just have that switched with the F in the slot. But anyway, he would have a wide flare, is what he called it, or a swing route, right? So I'm pretty sure that's how it works if you're not called into the pattern. So we can now get into why the system is good, how it works, and how you read it through a progression as we go through the rest of the offense. And I'll give you a quick little preview. You know, this is what you hear a lot of people like watch JT O'Sullivan. He does a good job of talking about different types of progressions in the NFL. And for the most part, it's going to be a progression with an option, all right? And most of his progressions in this offense is short to deep, okay? So in drop back pass, 1 to 2. Now, how do you know where to start your progression? Well, in his system, he would, by him saying 60, he's telling you to look to that side first, okay? If it was flipped 61, it would be the other way around. And then if he was to give this a letter, like he talked about on the backside, if he actually didn't just want to have the standard route over here, he wanted to have over here on the left, he wanted to have a combination of some sort. Okay, we'll talk about it more as we go along. Let's just use the letter D, right? Which I'm pretty sure, if I'm not 100%, was that deep, like that double dig back here. And I'm not sure what the back does. I know he does some sort of check through or some sort of like kind of trail route. But basically what's happening here, this is the letter D in his system. So he would say 60 D. And this is the backside. So this combination over here is the backside. So let's talk about the backside a little bit. And I'm going to let him talk about this in my next video. But I just want to preview it. Let's just say we do get, oops, whatever. I just flipped them. We do get that route that I just talked about. 10-yard dig. Pretty sure this guy's at 15 or 18 yard. I call it a dig. Okay. And then to the front side, we get some sort of combination. We just go with the, eventually we will get to the dag and the dig, which is the classic Indy route, right? Everybody knows it. It's probably a little too deep, you know, that route right there. But for now, we just stick with this. Let's just go stay with that 60 combination like he talked about, okay? So as we go through this, let's just do that for now. Not 100% sure on the backs route right there, but in general, he would tell you to start here, 1 to 2, that's your front side, because he already called 60. And then he said D. And then from what I understand, okay, the D part is what most people would say it's more of an alert, right? Or again, this is the pure progression 1 to 2, but the option, okay, is to look over here versus a specific pre-snap look, okay? And if you get that look as you hike the ball, go with it. So let's just say we are going to attack cover 3, okay? And we think that this team has a tendency to kind of hide coverages, sit in that quarters look or whatever, drop guys down. And if for some reason you see cover 3 rotation, you know, safety dropping down to the strong side over here where the tight end is, right? Nickel's over here, Mike, Will, and they drop down to a cover 3 look to now work the left side, okay? And that would probably be 1 to 2 to 3, okay? So that's the option that you get that you can get with this. Now, if for some reason you get fooled on this and you actually do get into cover 3 and you don't read it correctly, to me, I think this is the part, and this is where, you know, I'm working with a guy on the Game Plan Discord. Yeah, his name is C. Vaughn. Shout out to him. He has been running this offense. He's an offensive coordinator, and he understands the system, obviously way better than I do, okay? But in general, maybe this isn't the best route to work with to start. But again, 1 to 2, let's just say they take it away by playing cover 3, right? Safety buzzes out, corner drops back, right? But what did I say you have back here, right? You have these digs that are coming. I'm pretty damn sure that your third read now turns into whatever's coming into your window, right? So you're working that nice little 1 to 2. Okay, it's not there. 3, right? And I do know they talk about resetting. So none of their dropbacks are 7-step, or they don't try to hold the ball very long. Okay, so this would be a 5-step, which I think is 3 in the gun. And if you get through this and it's not there, then to reset your feet, right? Which means to basically now fully turn, well, not fully turn, but work your body to the left and throw that check down, or throw it out of bounds. Sorry, throw it out of bounds. All right, so a lot of the routes work in that manner where you can have that first side read that everybody thinks the ball's probably going based off of tendencies, based off of just what you want to do. And then if it's not there, you're going to have something coming back into your window, okay, that you can have for that third read, and then you can have your back. And if it's obviously, if third read, listen to JTO talk about it. Some of these things are not 1, 2 to 3, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Some of it is 1A and 1B. So to me, that smash combination is you're kind of reading both at the same time, right? You're trying to go after the curl flat defender. If he's buzzing out here and the corner is really deep and you can get a corner in there, I'm pretty sure you could throw it, but most coaches probably wouldn't say to do that. This is probably what? A cover two beater, right? Or maybe a split safety, maybe quarters. where they're playing Meg and they're going to squeeze down here and this safety is going to take that and you have the angle. So maybe this is a better play versus middle field open to the right, and then to the left, it's better versus middle field closed. Now, the power of this thing is that they can go, the coach can also say this to you in the helmet. You know what? I'm going to go D60. And all that does is just change where you start your I always get confused by calling this guy H. That's how they did it back in the day. You know, where you start your look. So now you say, okay, cool. I'm going to start. Coach anticipates, or he sees the coverage, or I know what they do. This is going to be F. I'm going to start my reads on this side now. Okay. So the only thing about that, obviously, you don't have the check down is not there to kind of swing back to. You're probably not going to throw that late. But the point is, you can tell your guy to look to the left first and then go to the right. Okay. And then now it goes back to the power of what I said. When you are game planning, and I don't think they do this for every single offense. I mean, every game, I think he had said real quick, he doesn't carry all plays. You know what I'm saying? He goes into a game and he might change it up. But maybe that combination wasn't what you wanted, right? So you have something else in the backside that you might like, right? Just a classic dig route, which we'll talk about in the next video. Sorry to tease you guys if you want to talk about that. But then obviously that route here would not work with it, right? So it's a little bit of you have to find the combinations that work with you. You probably want some sort of outbreaking route on this side or something like that, or just verticals, all right? So he had said in his offense when he had ended, they had 60 to 69 was two-man routes, so there was 10 two-man routes, okay? So let's try to discover what they are and what the main ones were. And then he had 6 backside routes. So he really only ran 6 backside, which to him, backside again is the three-man side, or not the backside. Backside could be anything, but three-man routes is pretty much what he was referring to. Okay, so you can start again to the backside technically, but you can start to the three-man side and then work to maybe the two-man side if the route allows it. Okay. But he had 6 of these, he had 10 of these. I think I've discovered about at least 6 of them over here and maybe 4 of them over here. But you know what? We can take it to another level and be creative and come up with our own combinations that work together. Okay, so as the next play comes along, we'll talk about it some more. I think I already kind of previewed it. The base play in their offense is that dig play. I just love talking ball, so I'm just going to keep on going. Screw it. I don't think you guys care, right? So this route actually is pretty damn deep. It's actually like a 15 to 18 yard dig, I think. And then this guy's running that 5 yard in. Okay, he has to come underneath everybody. 1 to 2. And if he said, I remember him saying, if you're going to throw actually, let me just save that part. But like I told you, the backside is that seam route and the vertical with the wide flare. Okay, so I know this play for a fact is 1 to 2 to 3 to throw it away. He really stretches to throw the ball away. Doesn't like taking sacks, okay? So that's the base play there. And then at a 3x1, so most people call that dig. I think that name has stuck around forever. If you want to do it at a 3x1, right? Oh, sorry. He would call dig. Usually if he doesn't say anything, it's always the Y. But I think he would still in this situation say Y dig. I'm not 100% on that. And the route, the guy who's adjacent to that player, all right? So when he says Y dig, the guy that's right next to him is going to run that 5 yard in, okay? Sorry, I'm a defensive guy. I always put the labels on there. And then he would say Z short in, okay? And that means 5 yard in as well, all right? So this read goes 1 to 2 to 3. This route's actually a lot deeper, 15, okay? And the back always flares away from the backside, okay? So this will be 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And he talks about you hardly ever throw that route unless people are really jumping this stuff. The ball usually goes over here, all right? This backside route, you can make it whatever you want, whatever individual route you want. They started with a hook, I think they called it, which is a 12 to 15 yard, basically a curl, all right? and this flare is always part of it too. Okay, so that's pretty much the 3-man surface. Now, some people have different names for this in their system. Crane is a name that I think Jim Caldwell went with, and some other people who ran this system. His time with Denver and Adam Gase, he has that called Crane in his playbooks. So I'm pretty sure that's what they kind of came to. And you need to have names for this stuff. So if you're going no huddle, you want to use it and go fast. But originally, these things came with letters and numbers. And I think it's a little bit of his background just in football and the digit system affecting his scheme a little bit, and how easy it is to kind of like remember numbers for routes. Okay, but he kind of used both. He made it into his own Frankenstein, which is a beautiful Frankenstein. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this beginning part, and I'm gonna kind of actually, you know what? Let me do one more thing for you. This is a long video, I know. I'm gonna go and show you what I have in my playbook right now on Excel, and then try to go on the Madden field real quick and just show you what I have working, so you can see what I'm working with. I'm trying to play games with this offense. I'm really obviously far behind. I didn't have any time to really prepare for it, but I'm trying my best. So let me just show you what I got so far. Okay, as you can see here, we have some formations. I kind of split them up. Pistol is going to be in there, and then under center, single back, right? So let's just start with single back. The playbook I started with trips. So I started with trips, which is fine. Dice slot, and you're going to see some Z close and Y off close. I'll talk about that in the next video, but it's pretty generic. We're going to be a lot. It depends if you want to be in 11 personnel, 12 personnel. That's how we're going to kind of figure it out. They actually did run some I formation, which is crazy, but they put like 2 halfbacks in the backfield in backed up situations. Pistol, I saw, Peyton Manning ran this a lot in Denver, and pistol gives me a little bit more options when it comes to my plays, when it comes to having some good play action plays, things like that. Then looking at the gun part of the playbook, which is the heavy part, you're going to see all these things here. I'm actually going to pare this down. Stuff in green are formations where the splits are different, and I'm trying to mimic what I see on film and actually how they lined up with some of their splits. I don't think people realize that the outside receiver was actually not all the way outside the numbers. A lot of times he lined up on the numbers. That was their thing. Madden doesn't give you that unless you get into some of these close formations, which is different, okay, than most people I think in the Madden world have used. But anyway, so I have right now a bunch of formations here, mostly 2x2 spread. And then I have here, these are all the 2x2 formations above the line. Then I have all the 3x1s and some empties down here below the line. So I'm trying to make it balanced, but that's pretty much what we have. And then I'll just take a quick look up here. You can see I already have a lot of the run game screens and the 2-man, 3-man routes you can see over there on the right-hand side. The core routes, there are routes in the system that he says one name and everybody runs the route. All 5 guys know what to do. So that does pop up. And something simple like 4 verticals, right? They call it jet or jungle is the 3x1 name used later on by different coaches. But, they have 2x2 4 verts, right? And then they have some other ones, Florida, Denver, Indiana, which are combinations of different types of routes. Most of them are levels or some sort of deep crossing routes, okay? So that's pretty much like the meat and potatoes. And as we kind of like work through the stuff on the right-hand side, I kind of pulled out, like I said, some plays that I think that I heard on film. I already listened to like 10 hours of this film already, but I'm going to give it to you guys slowly. And I'm trying to work out the backside or the front side routes, or AKA 2-man or 3-man routes, and try to figure that thing out for you guys. And we can kind of have fun with this. When I play my games, you'll be able to see me doing this stuff and trying to work with it the best way that I can. And that's it. All right. So I think this is enough. I don't think I need to go on the Madden field to just show you the same thing. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Hope you guys didn't like it, man. Also, just so you know, guys, this is going to be a video for everybody. I'm not an offensive guru, and this is the first time I'm putting together something for people. This time of year, some people probably just want to try something new, want to get rejuvenated, something. And if you want to maybe be just like Peyton Manning and have one of the best, probably known as the best offenses in the history of the game, But you know, it's 10 years ago. I know it's not current day football, but to me, it's still fun. All right. So kind of just ride along with me. I'll make some videos. I'm going to put this out on YouTube, and then I'll also Patreon guys. As I update the stuff, if I have like a quick thought, you know, hey, I just want to kind of throw something at you, you get some bonus information to this. But I want everybody to kind of have this, take a look at it, and just kind of have fun with it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.